Yeah, so it's Sunday afternoon, which means one thing, and that is that it must be time for Show Us Your Cat on Joyrider TV. Let's have a look. Yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV, and you are watching Show Us Your Cat. And I can tell you one thing, it is raining today in Vasiliki. That's right. Before we start, one very important question. Does anybody know where we can get parts for a mosquito catamaran in South Africa? This week's Show Us Your Cat, very exciting times. Yes, as usual, we're taking a trip around the world looking at your boats and where it is that you sail them. Let's just steam straight in and have a look at what we're featuring this week on Show Us Your Cat. Okay, so this week we're starting off by heading to Canada, to Lake Huron in Port Franks, Ontario, where we have Stephen. Stephen has been with Joyrider TV since the early days, and he was actually inspired back in the day by the video called Should You Buy a Hobie 16? And he said yes. And here it is. The results of that video are here with Stephen's 2005 Hobie 16. This is featuring the Solana sail colour. He's got the EPO rudders on there. These are the earlier EPOs, which are clearly black rather than the white ones which we use today. He's got some custom trampoline storage facility on there, and this boat is featuring the Hobie USA stylings and graphics. In Europe, boats of that age would have had stripes, but from the USA, the boats were featuring that Hobie diamond graphic on the hulls. Now, Stephen's got quite a unique situation where he lives in Port Franks. He launches his boat from his front yard into the river. The river then leads into the lake. But to get to the lake, Stephen has to paddle his 16 down the river and then rigs the boat and then starts sending it on the lake. I think you'll agree that this is a fantastic looking 16, especially when you consider that it is 15 years old. That is impressive. Thanks very much, Stephen, for sending in those pictures of your great looking 16. And we'd like to see some more pictures, perhaps for the speed stick, of you sending it out there on Lake Huron. Okay, next we're going to the UK, down in the southwest in Devon to Axmouth, where we have Oscar. Oscar has just taken delivery of a Hobie Tiger. Now, I'm thinking this boat must be around a 2003. It'd be great if Oscar could have a look on the plate on the back beam and perhaps on the serial number on the hulls to let us know what year it is, because there's a few things on the boat that makes it look newer and a few that makes it look a bit older. Firstly, the jib is of the older style. You can see on the hulls the trampoline feeds into the tracks rather than having the loose-sided trampoline, which is a feature of the newer boats. Looking on the mast, the spreaders are the old style. And finally, the position of the spinnaker block on the hulls is of the older style, which I think changed in around 2003. The reason the spinnaker block position changed is because the trend became to sail the boat with more mast rake, which meant to keep the leech tension the same as the mast came back, the spinnaker block had to move forwards slightly. But he has got some features on that boat which makes you feel that it might be a bit newer, such as firstly the connection at the bridle wires to the forestay is the newer style, no furling drum on there. It's got the newer style spinnaker chute, the newer style boom, which is a circular section rather than a square section. This is getting pretty specific here. He's got the newer style daggerboard friction plates. And he's got the self-tacking jib, which I think was introduced a little bit later, and the STX mainsail. But one thing is for sure, that this thing is going to absolutely fly, and Oscar is going to have an absolutely great time sailing it. Coming soon is going to be the Should I Buy a Hobie Tiger video, which it's the sort of video that if you even watch it, the answer is surely going to be, I think so. So thanks very much, Oscar, for sending in those pictures of your great looking tiger there in Devon. And finally this week, we're heading to Egypt in North Africa, where we're going to Moon Beach at Ras Surd, where we have Aziz. Aziz is sailing with Hani on his 2017 Dart 16. We've seen Dart 16s being used for very different purposes, but this is the most sending it that we've seen with a Dart 16. We can see it sporting the classy black and white sails, and we can see that Aziz is not afraid of sending it at Moon Beach. Plenty of beans are being given at all opportunities. I don't even think Aziz goes out sailing unless it's blowing a force 4. When you're giving it the beans, frills and spills are going to happen. And I ask you this, who hasn't been off the back of their boat recently? If you haven't been off the back, then perhaps you're taking it a bit too easy. Now in this video we can see Aziz is full power on the Dart 16 in what I'd like to call now the Joyrider TV position at the back. One thing we could say is, how can Aziz sail the boat a bit faster? My one tip, which I think most people could benefit from, is just play the main a bit more and you'll be able to sail the boat faster, because you'll know where the limits are more clearly. And oh my goodness, what is going on here? It looks here like Aziz has flown the hull so hard that even the speedo on the screen has slipped into the middle of the picture there. So thanks very much, Aziz, for sending those pictures of your Dart 16, which is now featured on the Global Speed Stick as well, incidentally, all the way from Egypt. Thank you. So what a great selection there. I think a big tip of the hat to Aziz in Egypt, who is surely sending it harder than anybody else at this time. If you think you're sending it harder than Aziz in Egypt, then send us some pictures and we'll have a who is giving it the most beans competition just for fun. If you'd like your boat to be featured on Show Us Your Cat, then all you need to do is send me pictures, maybe video, and a description of your boat, what year it is, where it is that you sail, who you go sailing with, anything special that we could feature there about your boat. That would be great. If you've already sent pictures or video of your boat to me to feature on your boat on a future episode of Show Us Your Cat, then I probably mentioned this last week. Like last week, I said this last week. I believe I might have said this last week. I said it last week. I think I've said this most weeks. Don't worry, you will be featured in the upcoming weeks. That I'm putting the boats onto these videos in order of which they came in. There we are. Yes, I had. That's right, you heard it here. That's right, it's coming up soon. That's right. Also, still ongoing, we've got the speed stick going. So if you are going out sailing, take a GPS device with you send me the results. Again, the details of what to do are in the description below, and you can get on the speed stick so that everybody will know that you went out with a GPS device and you gave it what you could in the conditions that you had at that time. Also, if you're buying or selling a boat, send me pictures if you're selling your boat. I'll put a small video together so that the global Joyrider TV community can see what it is that you're selling, and perhaps it means that your boat will be sold through that channel. Wouldn't that be nice too? Also, if you need something for your boat or some sailing gear, if you haven't checked it out or if you haven't been there recently, in the description below you'll see a link to my Amazon Associates page where I've put together a few lists of different ideas of things that you might need or want. So if you haven't got much on, why not check that out, have a look and see what is there. Very nice too. Other than that, thanks very much for watching this episode of Show Us Your Cat. Thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel, and we'll be back soon with some more great stuff on Joyrider TV. If not, we'll be back next Sunday with more Show Us Your Cat. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.